So here, to determine whether E and F are independent or not, check. And here you have to check if a probability of E intersection F is equal to probability of E times probability of F. Right. Probability of E intersection F, we found it at 0.21. The probability of E times probability of F, right? Probability of E by F. Multiply 0.3 by 0.20 by 7, it's 0.21. They are equal. So probability of E intersection F is equal to probability of E times probability of F, which is equal to 0.21. This implies that E and F are independent events. Okay. Any questions? Do you have any question? ما في سؤال؟ رينا كيف رينا؟
منيحة.
سأل منا عليه. Exercise number 3. They said the probability that a student studies راح يكتبوا نشكل شيء the probability that a student studies is 0.75. طبعا هذا الاكسرسايز هيك الستيتمنت يمكن ما يعجبكم كثير انه study will pass who doesn't pass if he doesn't study ما بعرف شو بس انه هذا الاكسرسايز. Okay. So the probability that the student studies for an exam is 0.75. Given that she studies, the probability that she will pass the exam is 0.8. Given that had a condition, near the conditional probability, if she studies, the probability that she passes 0.8. If she studies, the probability that she will pass the exam is 0.8. Okay. Moreover, given that if she doesn't study, given that she doesn't study, إذا ما درست, the probability that she will pass is 0.25. إذا ما درست, the probability that she will pass the exam is 0.25. I'll find the following probabilities. بدو أول وحدة probability she will study and pass. Study and pass. طيب مثل ما اتفقنا امبارح هذا سكرنا شوي. أول شيء حط الدياجرام، حط الجيفن، translate these statements into probabilities وبعدين جاوب على الأسئلة. أول ما نروح للأسئلة خلينا نكتب هذا الجيفن. طيب خلينا نقول مثلا هون طبعا الايفنتس عندك she studies she pass. اوكي خلينا نقول as the student studies for the exam, with B she passes the examination. Okay, ما حدا يفكر بأبعد من هيك، إنه ما في غيره، إنه بس بيقول لك she doesn't study، أوكي doesn't study هي S bar. She doesn't pass the exam يعني يبقى P bar. ما في غير هيك. يعني هود الايفنتس انت عندك اياهم studies the test or studies for the exam passes the exam ما في غيره. طيب وهلا هون انا شو ببلش؟ بالمنطق which one depends on the second؟ يعني if she passed the exam she will study or she will pass the exam if she studies she passed the exam. بالمنطق which event depends on the second؟ Does S event S depend on P or P depends on S؟ بالمنطق هون بهالاكسرسايز شو رايك؟ يعني اذا انا بدي بلش هون ايفنت للاس بالاول ولا البي، يعني بحط مثلا هيك اس وبعدين بي بار، ولا بحط هيك بي وبعدين اس بار وهون طبعا بي بار. اي وحده منهم الصح؟ اي وحده بدي بلش فيها؟ the first one or the second one؟
أول
كده والوحده، لانه بالمنطق انه بالمنطق وغير المنطق. يلا نشوف شو انه هاي she passes the exam depends on whether she studied or she didn't study. هاي واحد. اثنين شو عم بيقول لك هون؟ given that she studies the probability that will pass. يعني هاي given that she studies assuming that she studies probability that P present P given that S. The probability of P assuming that S occurs. يعني P depends on S. The probability of P depends on the occurrence of S. إذا نبلش S bar شو يعني؟ She studies she doesn't study. طيب the probability that she studies كتب لك اياها 0.75. طيب هالشيء بيعني انه the probability that she doesn't study هي 0.25. اذا هون عندك probability of S هي 0.75. طبعا هذا الشيء بيعني probability of S bar is 1 minus 0.75 which is 0.25. لا شوف هون شو عم بقول لك. انا هي فيك تكمل من هون P given that S, P bar given that S, and here P given that S bar and P bar given that S bar. شو معناتها؟ بكل وحدة منهم هون. She will pass given that she studies. She will not pass given that she studies. إنه خيها درست. أوكي درست يا راح تنجح يا لا. إذا درست في احتمال تنجح في احتمال لا. وإذا ما درست في احتمال تنجح في احتمال لا. طبعا احتمالات مختلفة كيف بالمنطق وحسب الجبن كيف، بس انه احتمالات موجوده اذا انت بتعبيهم هيك. اذا هون P given that S ليك شو عم بقول لك هون given that she studies انت هيك على سكراتش بتحط عندك given that she studies slash S. The probability of she pass يعني probability that P فاذا هي it is the probability of P given that S. Probability that she pass given that she studies. So probability of P given that S. بس شوف هاي given that such that يعني هاي over S. إذا بدك اكتبها هيك. Okay? فإذا the given here probability of P given that S is 0.8. هاي هي 0.8. طيب هالشيء بيعني إنه she will not pass if she studies. The probability is 0.2. يسبتراكت. هاي اكتبهم دغري على السريع عندك هون على الدياجرام. وحد منهم هون اكتبها. The probability of P bar given that S هي 1 minus 0.8 هي 0.2. طيب the second one, the probability that she doesn't study or given that she doesn't study يعني given that S bar, the probability that she pass P given that S bar is equal to 0.25. إذن هاي 0.25 انه ما درست وتنجح احتمال 0.25. the probability is 0.25. طب ايش طبيعي انه احتمال انه ما تنجح given that she doesn't study، ما تنجح وهي مش دارسه، هي 0.75. طبعا هي probability of p bar given that s bar هي 1 minus 0.25 which is 0.75. مثل ما قلت لك امبارح برجع بعيد لك نفس الستيتمنت، بس تحط الدياجرام تكتب الجيفن، الاكسرسايز كله سوا صار خاتم باصبعك، بينحل ب5 دقائق، ما عادش في شيء تكتبه، يعني ما عادش في شيء تعمل. طبعا مش بالتعبير يعني ما عادش في تعمل، بس في اشياء كثيره، بس انه يعني خلص خلص كل شيء. طيب اول سؤال find the probability that she will study and pass. probability study and pass. هاي study and pass، يعني بده probability لمين؟ study S pass P and يعني intersection. طيب حسب الرول اللي عندنا اياها في عندنا وحده من اثنين، يا اما بنكتب هيك probability S times probability P given that S، او بنكتب هيك probability of P times probability of S given that P. نحن شو عندنا؟ عندك S given that P ولا P given that S؟ لازم هي انساها. probability of S times probability هاي multiply it. هون you get probability of P intersection S. So it's equal to 0.75 times 0.8 and then you give the answer. هذا بيطلع 0.6. واضح؟ Any questions? Right. The second part, she will not study and pass the exam. She will not study and pass. شو يعني؟ She will not study يعني أسبار and pass intersection P. أسبار intersection P يعني هاي هيدي مثلا فإذا هاي it is the probability of S bar times probability of P given that S bar. Hey. Which is equal to probability of S bar 0.25 times probability P given that S bar hey كمان 0.25 and then the answer will be 0. ليش بيطلع 0.0625. The probability here P intersection S bar is 0.0625 وهاي طلعت مع 0.6. The probability آخر وحدة probability of she will not pass. What is the probability that she will not pass the exam? طيب she will not pass يعني بده probability of P bar اللي هي 1 minus probability of P. 1 minus the probability of P. صح. طيب 1 minus probability of P. طيب عندنا probability of P ما عندنا اياه. Can we find it؟ اكيد. لك وين هيدي ال P. عندك P هون وفي عندك P هون. انه هاي she will pass the exam بوحده من الاثنين، يا اما she will pass the exam and she studies، she will pass the exam and she doesn't study. ونحن already جبناهم using the total probability. The probability of P هي probability of P intersection S plus probability of P intersection S bar اللي هي 0.6 plus 0.0625 والانسر 0.6625. Hey, it is the probability that she will pass the exam. طيب P bar probability of P bar بتكون 1 minus 0.6625 وبيطلع answer 0.3375.